if anything with it has happened yet. They came out and just took a rake and kind of dug up like the dirt and threw some grass seed down, but never brought in where it's made the yard even lower now because it's settled. And then they came out and did a trench that was like, I got pictures of everything, I got videos of everything, I got measurements of everything from probably a year and a half ago. The trench was like a half an inch deep and up to maybe 4 inches at the most, that I put a stick down and showed it. It was 47 feet from the road, and that did not do anything. So they came in and put a little bit of topsoil down and did it again and threw grass seed in, and it's just a mess. It's come over, and my mom's yard was a green plush, beautiful yard. She took great care of her yard, has it sprayed and everything, and half the yard in the back is dead and brown from root rot. And it's dead all the way up to her deck. The water's coming up through her flower beds and killing everything in the flower beds and up around the house. Karen did tell her at one time that her and Stuart would be coming out to take a look at that and would notify her so she could be present. I don't know if she's come out. Stuart has come out, talked to her. My mom said she was not happy with it. And it's just a disaster right now. But I have pictures and videos and everything that I'd be really glad to show everybody to get it resolved. And the builder next door, or the guy who is next door, I don't know if he is the builder, but I did talk to an older builder before. It was an older man, and he said that when she was home, he was gonna get with her on putting a drain in and doing this and doing that. He never ever contacted her. The gentleman that's there now said he would do whatever it takes to make her happy. I did get the drain thing that shows the drain is on the same side, so the road would not have to be broken up. And I had an excavator come out and give an estimate, and I've tried to get other estimates on the cost to put drain tile and everything in and to link something so that it drains properly. And so I have an estimate from one of those right now. So I'm trying to get more estimates. But thank you.
You're welcome. If you wanted to leave something for the board, you can, is there anyone else who'd like to speak during public comment? Yep, so you can pass that out because Mr. Roberts is going to make his way up here.
Okay. I don't know if you just want a copy. It didn't copy very good.
Whatever you wanted to provide.
And that's just one of the estimates right now.
Mr. Roberts, did you want to come up to the podium? Did you have pictures?
On her iPad, I do.
Okay. If you want to send it to me, I can share it with the other board members. Thank you.
My name is Gerald Roberts. Live at 4487 Lindywood Drive. I'm close to 80 years old. I'm a veteran. I served in the Army National Guard for 6 years. I'm deeply, deeply, deeply concerned, and I think everyone in this particular auditorium should be concerned. I do not want this country to go communism, socialism. This is the United States of America. What's happening right now is the Democratic Party has been hijacked, in my estimation, by a bunch of lunatics. And the guy we got in there, when somebody speaks up, like that soldier, there was the lieutenant colonel, and saying that somebody should be taking responsibility for 13 people being killed and leaving Americans in Afghanistan, it's a travesty. We have a general that thinks it's more important, in other words, I don't know. So if this woke deal and train our soldiers is to be accepting gays in the military, what's this country coming to? We don't need this kind of a leadership with regard to our military. And when somebody that's got a lot of common sense and he tries to speak up, this lieutenant colonel, telling him that somebody should be held accountable for what happened over in Afghanistan and what's been happening at this particular border with regard to thousands of people coming in, spreading COVID all over this country. What's going on here, folks? You gotta wake up and see this country is being taken over by a bunch of millionaires that want to have this country go communism. It didn't work in Venezuela, it didn't work in Cuba. I'm a US citizen. I was in the Army, I fought for this country. And do you think I want to see it go communism or socialism? There's no way in hell. And if I had to tomorrow and they told me to come from the National Guard and take up my rifle and go down there and fight for this country, I'd be the first one to volunteer. I'd kiss my wife goodbye and I'd say, hey, we're going to take this country back. We don't need communism in this country. We don't need zero cost, $3.5 trillion. It's not going to cost anybody. Who are they trying to kid? Who are they trying to kid? Lies, 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 lies. And you can see what's happening right now. Biden bus bombs coming all over this country. Politics has gone to hell, I'm telling you. Until we speak up and stand up for this country, it's going to go right down the tube. I'm sorry, this is the way I feel. And I'm really distressed over what in the hell's happening right now. Sorry. I guess I'm not sorry. I expressed myself and I vetted myself.
Is there anyone else who'd like to address the board?
Good evening, everyone. Genesee County Commissioner Dominique Clemens with the 4th District, which includes most of Flint Township. Just wanted to give a quick county update because it's been a while since I've been up. The first and most important thing that I wanted to get up and make sure everyone was aware of is that this upcoming Wednesday at 6:30 in the evening, the Genesee County Reapportionment Committee will be meeting. That's the body that will be deciding the new district boundaries for county commissioners and the number of county commissioners. So that does affect everyone in the county as our commission districts will be changing. So currently in Flint Township, there are 3 different commissioners that represent us. That could change. There could be more. There could be fewer. But Wednesday, 6:30 at the Mundy Township Hall, they'll be taking public comment and any input from members of the public on how the redistricting should look like in our county commission districts. Other things to mention real quickly, we did at our last county board meeting pass a balanced budget. It's the first time we have done that without dipping into our fund balance in a couple of years. Primarily due to the additional funding we've received through ARPA, as well as some reductions we've made in other department areas. And then finally, two other things. On a happy note, we also, starting this last weekend and running through the end of October, we're beginning our Halloween at Crossroads. There'll be lots of goodies and ghouls and ghosts out there, so feel free to stop by, bring your family. Open both on the weekdays and weekends. There's lots of festivities going on there. And then finally, like many businesses and like many units of government, Genesee County has a lot of vacant positions. We are hiring. We have more than 24 openings in our Sheriff's Department for correction deputies. We have several secretary positions through our clerk, finance positions throughout the county, nurses in our health department, as well as several positions through G-Card. So if you or anyone you know is interested in employment, gc4me.com has all of those listed. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And thank you for being at our meeting this evening. It's good to see you. And we appreciate that update. Is there anyone else who wanted to address the board? No? So we'll close the public comment and we'll move on to reports. And I just wanted to say a couple things in regards to the public comment. Mr. Seward, I just want to let you know that right now 911 is putting together a committee on ambulance response times. I know that I'm on the executive committee, and there are municipalities around the border of our Genesee County who feel that response times for ambulances are very slow, and that's directly impacts the victim or the patient. And I had mentioned before that when my son was 10 days old, I called an ambulance living in Linden, was just south of Argentine. It took 30 minutes. So I understand the problem. I don't know what the solution is, but they're coming together with the advisory board that they have at 911 and some communities getting their input. And I'm not sure if it may be an open meeting, I can check, but if you are interested in attending that, I think that's the first place to start, because they are going to be looking at the contracts that some municipalities are signing with these ambulance companies for exclusive service, and how does that impact the service that 911 provides. So they are looking at that. The second thing I wanted to say is, if everybody took care of what they owned in their property, we have a building department that wouldn't have some jobs. So we are forever and continually chasing after people who don't do what they're supposed to do. So if you ever wanted to come in and take a look and see what code enforcers are doing in our building department, they're constantly busy going after people who need to take care of their properties and they aren't, whether it's blight, whether it's trash, be part of that, whether it's inoperable cars parked where they shouldn't be or not registered, or it's homes that are in such bad shape they need to be demoed. But we go to court often. We write lots of notice of violations. We tried to avoid tickets to try and get compliance. But if you ever wanted to come in and see what we do in the building department to take care of that. And then on the flip side, we have a group of people that gets together and have gone and done cleanups. We've done it through our Parks and Recs committee that is no longer a committee right now, but we had cleanup in April, 6 weeks from April to, was it April and May, Earth Day till, I'm not sure. And we chose different spots to go and pick up trash, and we had a lot of volunteers come. We work with the Genesee County Sheriff's Office because they have juvenile delinquents that do community service, and they pick up trash, mostly on the freeways, but if we had a spot like, say, Dutcher Road that was really overwhelming and we couldn't get to, or our trail, we could ask them to do a cleanup there. So there's a lot of things that we're doing, and yet it's still not enough. I know, I see it. I drive the township and see the trash that's around, or a dilapidated sign that should have been taken care of a long time ago. It's always a game of catching up because there's so much work to do in the building department and code enforcement. So I'd invite you to come anytime to take a look at that. And I know that there's always room for improvement, but there's just a lot of work to do. So I did want to address that because we are addressing it. It's overwhelming. So that's all I wanted to say at this point in time. I just wanted to make sure the trustees know that we are actively in negotiations with all of the unions. And right now, you know that Trustee Klee, Clerk Funk, and I negotiate with police and fire, and I know Treasurer Anderson and I and Trustee Klee negotiate, is it with AFSCME and ComOps? Teamsters, yeah. So we're right in the middle of that. If you have any input or ideas or questions, don't hesitate to ask. Tom takes copious notes. Anyhow, what else is going on? We applied for the ARPA grant. It looks as if the township might receive just over $3 million. Kevin, the controller, and I submitted in a timely manner, and yet we didn't submit 3 pages that were instructional. And we were not the only ones, but we had to resubmit the pages that gave you instructions to be complete. So we just did that, and we should be hearing from them. Our status is under review. So we should be hearing when we're going to be sent the first portion. They're going to split that in half, it's my understanding, that we'll get a large portion to begin with, and the next check will come the following year. And so we as a board need to get together and decide how we are best going to spend that money. And that's a board decision. So I know we have budget coming up. I'm going to be meeting with Kevin this week to review each department budgets. Then you should be receiving a draft of the budget at our next meeting, and we are going to be having a budget workshop in October. I think it's the 12th or 13th. And then from that input, finalize the budget and bring it to the next meeting, which would be our first meeting in November. And we'll also have to have a public hearing for that. So that's what I'm working on. I know I'm going to have John speak under committees as far as update from Metro, but we are smack dab finishing up some of the road projects, and there's a lot of construction going on. MDOT did the entrances at the freeways. You've seen that if you've been on the freeways. They're working on 69, replacing and fixing the bridge over Swartz Creek. Let's see. We have done our road projects. We did Door Ellen, Bailey. They're in the process of doing the intersection. They're digging up the concrete and fixing the drainage at River Valley and River Birch, I believe it's called. And those are our major projects. We're doing ditching with the road commission right now. And there'll be a final chloride and grading of the dirt roads. And our committee will begin getting together to devise what the plan is for next year and bring that to the board hopefully but before the end of the year, so that we have our projects in early in case anything needs to go out to bid. But we'll be working with block grant funds next year. We'll be working with 50/50 funds that we have to match through the road commission and then our road millage. So that's my update. I know Madam Clerk's not here. Madam Treasurer, do you have a report for us?
No, I do not.
Are there any trustee reports this evening?
I have one.
Yes,
Okay.
please.
I gotta bring it up here on my phone. They had our first senior millage shredding event, and that was last Thursday, and it was at Carmen Ainsworth Senior Center, and it went very, very well, and we were happy it didn't rain. It was, thank you, and it warmed up quickly. So this was, there were board members, volunteers, there were some Genesee County residents that helped too. It was 112 cars, and 35 were within the first 10 to 15 minutes. They were lined up and ready to go. Each bin, that they had 2 of them, was 96 gallons, and they, there were, let's see, 335 pounds each. They filled 23.5 bins for a total of 7,873 pounds of shredding material.
Give me that
That's a
number.
lot.
Can I have that number again?
7,873 pounds,
7,873 pounds. Thank you.
but it went well.
That's a good service to the residents of our township.
So happy.
Thanks
Yeah.
for being a part of that too, Barb.
Okay.
Anything else from the senior center?
Let's see, health fair is coming up October 26th.
6th.
And can you give a brief description for anyone interested in attending?
Okay, they're gonna have vaccines. You name it, they're gonna have it. Flu, pneumonia, COVID, what are some of the
Is that
other
free
ones?
for seniors?
Yeah, it's all free. There's a bunch of them. There are going to be, there's different companies that come in and they set up their tables that offer assistance for seniors, whether it be housing, whether it be help with legal issues and that type of thing. It's a really important event, and they have it once a year, and it's really good for people to go.
There's a lot of resources there, right?
A lot, yeah. It's very good, yep.
Alrighty, and so if you have any questions on that, you can call the senior center, and if you don't have the number, you can call here and we get that for you.
Right.
So were you ready? Carol, did you have a report for us this evening?
Yes, we're in the process of putting together a trunk or treat. It's going to be Thursday, October the 28th, 5:30 to 8:30 at Shea Automotive. Last year, we had approximately 31 emergency agencies that participated, and we're planning on having the same amount. We're working on getting the helicopter again this year that can be there for the children to see. We are looking for donations or sponsors, and we're looking for volunteers that would like to help direct traffic, attend a truck and pass out candy, or attend the drive-through for the haunted house, in which we're going to be putting that in the Chevrolet service bay. So if anybody's interested, please let me know.
Thank you. Trustee Clay, do you have a report for us this evening?
I'm going to be very quiet. We do have a ZBA Wednesday, and I spoke my piece, but may I direct something to you? The date on that trunk or treat was the 28th?
5:30 to 8:30, Shea Automotive.
And you mentioned, 5:30, okay, you mentioned 5:30 to 8:30, and you said haunted house. Do you need people to work in the haunted house?
We need some volunteers.
Just checking. That's up my alley.
But they need to dress up. if
Oh,
they're
I
gonna-
got
yeah.
stuff. Just wanted to clarify. Thank you, I'm done.
All righty, we'll move on to staff reports. Chief Salter?
Yes, ma'am, thank you. For the last 3 weeks, or since September 13th, we responded to over 2,000 calls, which is over 100 a day again. Plus, we had multiple traffic stops, business checks, and residence checks. On Friday night, October 1st, we had a homicide. A 22-year-old male victim was shot and killed as he's driving southbound on Ballinger, south of Miller Road. The case still remains under investigation, so if anyone has any information, please contact Detective Lacey Lopez, 810-600-3250. On a better note, Officer Lance Sherwood was recognized by the 100 Club last week for his brave and heroic act. On November 22nd, 2020, during the morning hours, Officer Sherwood is dispatched to a structure fire within the Genesee Village apartment complex. He arrived on scene and quickly found the hallways of the occupied apartment building filled with smoke. He located the apartment where the smoke was coming from and attempted to make contact with anyone who may still be inside. He did not receive an immediate response, but could hear the sound of coughing from somebody inside. Being the only person on scene, he decided he could not wait for additional personnel and kicked the apartment door open, immediately encountering more smoke from the fire. Officer Sherwood entered the apartment and found a heavy-set man kneeling in the kitchen next to his walker. This man was having trouble breathing and was unable to walk. Officer Sherwood dragged the victim out from the smoke-filled apartment to the hallway and was assisted by other responding officers in getting him out of the building. So I want to make sure the board recognizes this act by Officer Lance Sherwood.
So that was at the 100 Club that he was recognized, and his wife was there with him, and they gave him a chance to speak, and I just wanted to say that she had just given birth, was it their third child?
Third boy, yes.
6 days earlier, and I think she should have gotten recognition for being at that meeting to be supportive of him. So anyhow, that was good to recognize him, and I know 4 other people were recognized through the county. So the 100 Club does good work like that. They recognize heroism once a year, is it? And then they do mini grants, micro grants, I guess, if you want to say, to different municipalities. We've received them in the past. Hopefully we'll get some more in the future. And then they also support families of any active, I think it's active, if an officer, police or fire officer, has died in the active duty, in the line of duty, they help with scholarships with the children. It's a good foundation, and
Correct.
I'm glad that they recognized one of our officers for heroism. And I'm glad that you were there too. So that was good. More on your report?
Just the agenda, there's 4 items, 3 from the police and 1 from the fire. Since Assistant Fire Chief Rowley's here, I'll let him do the fire report.
Before we move on to fire, can you tell me, speaking of fire, we are in the process of setting up a test for a new fire chief, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am, that is November 3rd.
The test
The
for that?
test is, yes. Then I
Is
guess
that the
that'll be-
written test?
Correct, the written test.
And then further down in November, or further in November, we'll have the interview portion of the test?
That's what the plan is so far, yes, ma'am.
So hopefully, we'll have budgeted for a position next year for fire chief. We should have a new fire chief by sometime in January, hopefully.
I think in February it's going
February?
to work out, yes.
Okay, just an update, guys. Thank you very much. Thank you for your patience.
Since the last meeting, the fire department's responded 42 alarms, including vehicle extrication, structure fire on Aberley. We've also dealt with multiple vehicles burning at the auto auction on South Dye Road, and multiple new vehicles burning on one of the lots that General Motors is using for storage. So it's been kind of up and down on the fire side. During the month of September, we've assisted in 2 fire investigations, conducted 1 plan review and 27 fire inspections. October is Fire Prevention Month. With that, everybody please check your smoke alarms, make sure they're at work, check your batteries. And we have smoke alarms at the fire station. If anyone is in need, you can contact us at the office, and we'll set up an appointment. We will come out and install smoke alarms in your house for you.
How about carbon monoxide detectors? Anything on that?
We have some, nowhere near as many smoke alarm or carbon monoxide alarms as smoke alarms, but we do have a limited supply. And I'm hoping to have a relationship with the Red Cross to be able to supplement when we run out and continue being able to supply this service for the residents.
So if one of our residents has a question, they can always give you guys a call.
Absolutely.
And just like with the burn permit too, it's just a phone call, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Call over to you guys and talk to you, right? Right.
Yep, and we'll set up an appointment, we'll come out, we'll install, and make sure there's adequate number of smoke alarms in the house to keep them safe. Fire department is still conducting hydrant flowing this fall, for the fall, and we will hopefully be wrapping that up this month. So, that's all I have.
Thank you very much. Appreciate
Question.
it.
Can
Go
I
ahead.
ask, 732-4413 or for,
Yes, sir, 732-4413.
I just want to make sure that was on the record. Thank you.
All righty. So if there's no other committee reports, John, you represent Flint Township at the Genesee County Metropolitan Metro Alliance, and you wanted a report from the last meeting?
I got a couple things. First, I wanted to follow up on the road millage. I went over and drove West Terrace and Hillside today, and I see they got barrels along the side of the road, so it looks like they're getting ready to do that. And North Utley Road, they got barrels sitting there, so it must be getting ready to do that. As far as Metro Alliance, they reported last month at our meeting, they put a presentation on the roundabouts. And I know they talked about this early in the year. They started out with their 3,600 of them. They've narrowed it down to 14, and 3 are in Flint Township. And the 3 in Flint Township is Court and Dye, Elms and Beecher, and Elms at Lennon. And they talked about, in the presentation they gave, Roe has put something on the Genesee Metro Alliance or the Metro page. So if you go to the Genesee County Metropolitan Planning Commission, and that's gcmpc.org. If you go to that page, you can click on the Transportation tab, and then under that, there's Plans and Reports. So if you click on that, I mean, it's kind of buried in this, but you eventually can get to the Roundabout Implementation Study. And when you open that study up, Roe has put that together. It has all 14 intersections in the county that they've narrowed it down to. So if you go to like Court and Dye and click on it, it gives you an overview, the introduction, future no build, the roundabout conditions, and it gives the full report with aerial views. And then the last thing is a simulator. And you click on the simulator and it shows you road condition currently, cars backing up, and then it shows you with a roundabout how that works. So I just wanted to give a report on that. And there's no build dates, or they haven't got grant funding for any of this. But this project, this study looks out to 2045. So it's down the road, but at least they're moving forward, trying to figure out where to put the roundabouts as needed. The other thing I wanted to mention is a public meeting, and it's October 13th at the Flint Township Flint Township Police Department, and that deals with Flushing Road. They're gonna do like a road diet. They're gonna take it from 4 lanes down to 3 lanes with the middle turn lane, and it's from Flushing Road, El Dorado to Ballinger. I just want to make people aware of it. I know it's been on the Flint Township a crime watch page, but I just wanted to mention that so they're aware of it. That's all I got, Karen.
So, will they, you said there's no funding right now for these roundabouts. Will they have a public hearing and get public input?
My understanding is when they get closer to actually doing one, they will go ahead and get have the public hearings and get public feedback. I know I looked at the one for Court and Dye Road, and it does look like it interferes with those driveways, and they said they have an estimate there what it would cost, but the estimates don't include any property purchases they would have to do. If they had to buy a piece of land or like down there if they were gonna buy that corner up or something, none of that's included in their estimates. That's all to be determined. But at least there's a place to go look at what they're talking about. There's some interesting intersections on that study too. They're talking about, and it doesn't really affect Flint Township, but they're talking Elms and Miller, which That's a busy intersection, but there's several on Elms Road, up into Flushing there's some, so it's an interesting study to go take a look at.
Thanks, John. Thanks for the update. Keep us updated, will you? So I'm going to go back over here. Did you have a report for the board, Tracy?
I did include a report in your packet on the roads, and where they stand. Linden Creek Parkway is finished, as we all know. However, we have heard from Senator Ananich's office that we are up to receive $200,000 for that. They sent a form to us today to fill out. I sent it back to them. I talked to him this morning, and he said, great, we'll get it processed as soon as we can. So we should be seeing funds on that. I don't count my chickens before the money's in my hand. So, but it does look like we're going to get funding for that. We're also working with his office on the remainder of the projects to get funding for those as well. Went out, looked at all the marketplace, commerce, and exchange are completed. Lincor, Taft, Mansour are under construction. Neridia has been started. Holiday Drive is under construction, and Austin's Parkway had not been started yet. We did, the supervisor and myself have been in contact, and Mike Piper have been in contact with the road commission. We did ask them if we could delay that until the spring, if they wanted to delay on that, just because we didn't want to have issues with the road being done and them hurrying to meet a deadline when they already had issues going on with Holiday. We want Holiday done correctly, and we want Austin done correctly. So I do believe that's going to be moved off until next spring at this point. So that's where we're at with those right now.
Thank you very much. Let's see. So I think that does it for reports. Payment of bills. Madam Treasurer, did you want to tell us?
We did not have any bills for this week. We'll have probably a load for the next board meeting.
Great. Thank you. And I don't see any correspondence or informational items. Move on to new business. Action item A. You have in your board packet the L 4029 that the board has to approve by resolution. It's the millage rates, and they remain the same as last year. So it's a matter of voting to approve to renew the rates. Thank you. Go ahead.
Anderson moved that we accept the 2021 Charter Township Flint millage rates as provided from our assessor.
Is there a second to the motion?
Support.
Any discussion or questions? Was that you, Carol?
Yes.
No questions, no discussion. Trustee Klee, are you able to take a roll call vote on that?
I'm ready now. I was writing my arm
Roll
off.
call, please. On approving the 2021 L4029 millage rates.
Accepted as presented.
Yep.
Ms. Vert,
Yes.
Ms. Carol Pfaff-Dahl.
Yes.
Ms. Lisa Anderson.
Yes.
Ms. Karen Miller.
Yes.
Mr. Thomas Klee, yes. 5.
The resolution passes.
2 absent.
Thank you. Action item B, I'm gonna push it over to you. Who wants to speak on it? Chief Salter?
That was a sharp point right there. Yeah, did you see that?
Now, in your packet is a request for the Flint Township to hire 3 trainee on-call firemen, on-call firefighters. They passed their physical, drug test, police record check, and their physical agility test. There's Scott Grassman, Zachary Hebel, and Mark Rowley, which is another Rowley within the fire department, which is your cousin.
Mike Rowley.
Nice.
I said Mike Rowley, didn't I?
Said Mark.
Oh, not Mark, yeah. We don't want to hire Mark. We wouldn't hire Mark.
Not another
again,
Mark.
but
I heard you say Mike.
See?
Anybody in your family do police work?
No, ma'am. I had a comment for that, but I'll leave it.
So we have a recommendation from Chief Salter.
Clee would move that we accept Chief Salter's letter of recommendation on the push from Markey that Scott Grassman, Zachary Hebel, and Michael Rowley be allowed to enter into the fire academy, on October 5, 2021.
Anderson supports.
Great, I just want to clarify, is this a conditional offer of employment?
They will start tomorrow. They have to go through the training first, then they got probation, all the fun stuff.
Great. So any other questions? No, hearing none. Trustee Clee, if you'll take the roll call vote on hiring the 3 on-call firefighters contingent on their finishing school, right, training? Roll call, please.
Ms. Carol Pfaff-Dahl,
Yes.
Ms. Lisa Anderson,
Yes.
Ms. Karen Miller,
Yes.
Mr. Tom Clee, yes. Mrs. Barber,
Yes.
5-0.
So, very good. Guess you'll be informing them. We're gonna move on to action item C is the PEG disbursements. You have the letter that Clerk Funk put in to distribute PEG grant dollars. To allow a $10,000 total disbursement as follows: to Carmen Ainsworth for $7,000, for Swartz Creek for $1,500, and Flushing $1,500. An motion is necessary to move forward.
We would move that we accept Clerk Funk's statement of the PEG grants being distributed per the allocated amounts as they have been for multiple years.
Is there a second?
Anderson supports.
Thank you, Lisa. Any questions?
I do. Were we supposed to receive anything?
We do. They they can't receive this money until, because it's in the agreement. They have to provide updates as to what they're doing. And it goes to the clerk's office, so we can ask her to provide those updates. She checks on those.
Yeah, well, it just says they'd be here at the meeting, that's why I was wondering. Isn't that what that says? Did I read it wrong?
Will be provided at the board meeting. if
Oh.
She hasn't
I have
received
not
them yet, but
received them
we'll
yet.
get them.
Usually have them.
Because they
so,
usually
yeah.
do.
Yeah.
But we'll get those, and if you wanted to see any of them,
Okay.
we can provide those for you.
All right, thanks. Who seconded that?
It was Lisa, yeah.
Yep.
Do you want to take the roll call vote?
Sure. Ms. Anderson?
Yes.
Ms. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Clee, yes. Ms. Vert?
Yes.
Ms. Pfaff-Dahl?
Yes.
5-0, 2 absent.
So that resolution is approved. Action item D, Chiefs.
Don't go there yet. Please, don't go there yet. I'm writing as fast as I can, guys.
We appreciate it. So I'm gonna ask Chief
Go
Salter
ahead, you
to
can.
give us an update on the FANG annual dues.
Yes, ma'am, thank you. Again, it's that time of year again for our Flint Area Narcotics Group annual dues. The amount is $40,972.39, which has been the same for quite a few years now. In your packet, it shows many of the things or many of the benefits that we get from being part of FANG. So I recommend to the board that we pay the dues again.
Anderson moves that we pay these dues for the Flint Area Narcotics Group in the amount of $40,972.39.
Is there a second to the motion?
Or,
That was Trustee Vert.
Yep.
Are there any questions for Chief Salter? No?
Thank you, sorry. Get the number when I'm done, I'm sorry.
You don't have a question, Tom?
No, the number I was trying to get.
$40,972.
Is there any penny?
39 cents.
I would say there's pennies on that. 39, there it is. Okay, thank you.
Can you take a roll call
And
vote,
I have to
please?
see who's up. Okay, Ms. Miller. Ms. Miller.
Yes.
Mr. Clee, yes. Ms. Vert.
yes.
Ms. Pfaff-Dahl.
Yes.
Ms. Anderson.
Yes.
5-0, 2
Thank you.
absent.
Resolution passes.
Thank you, board.
You wanted to give us another update on the
B.
bulletproof vest, please?
Are we excuse me, should this be D? Never mind. I see it. They're all tied together, it looks like. Never mind, we're good. Go ahead.
Chief.
Okay. In your board packets, a request to purchase 7 new bulletproof vests. Manufacturer recommends that we replace our vest every 5 years, so we try to keep on top of that. And this year, we get to purchase 7 of the vests. Up to half the cost, maybe not half the cost, is reimbursed by the federal government through the Bulletproof Vest partnership that we're part of. And we currently use CMP distributors, which we've used for a long time. And that vest also includes a 7-inch by 9-inch plate for more protection for our officers. So I'd recommend, or I ask the board to approve the purchase of these 7 vests for the total of $7,875.00 plus shipping.
Motion is in order to move forward?
Clee would move.
And is there a second to the motion?
Support.
And that's second by Carol
Yep.
on the purchase of the bulletproof vests in the amount of $7,875.00.
It's writing C report.
And 0 cents.
Yep.
Are there any
Plus shipping,
questions?
too. Shipping,
Plus-
too.
Shipping,
Plus
Shipping will
shipping.
maybe add a little more, so.
I just said C, I said C paperwork,
Plus
so we're okay.
shipping.
Yeah, I
Okay.
said C paperwork.
Alrighty.
So we're covered.
And if there's no questions, trustee Clee, if you'll take the roll call vote, please.
Mr. Clee, yes. Ms. Vert?
Yes.
Ms. Fafdahl?
Yes.
Ms. Anderson?
Yes.
Ms. Miller?
Yes?
5-0, 2 absent.
Resolution passes, and the last one would be for the storage shed. Chief Salter?
Been a while for that one.
I didn't say it.
You started to, I know what you're going with it.
I
though.
heard it.
In your board packet is a request for the police department to purchase a 12 by 20 storage shed. We currently have 2 sheds in our parking lot, an 8 by 10 shed and an 8 by 8 shed. They're in disrepair. It's in rough shape. So we're asking the board to approve purchasing a shed from North Star Storage Barns, which we get 3 different quotes, and this was the cheapest one, for $6,704. And is it up in Mayo is a business, is where we got it from, or recommend getting it from.
I want to make the motion to purchase the shed in the amount of $6,704 from North Star Storage Barns to get the discussion started.
Is there a second to the motion?
Or,
You have a question or comment?
I do have a question. What type of equipment, because it seems like your building is huge and you should have space in that
Sure.
building.
We
To
keep different
store
items
the
out there.
stuff.
We have some flares that we keep out there. Plus, we got some of the stuff we work with outside. We got a snowblower that's currently outside,
Okay.
out there. Plus, different items for our patrol vehicles, different, like, bags we keep in the back of our patrol vehicles. And sometimes if we have something we don't want to put in the building, we store in our storage shed.
You've got a big garage and everything over
Yes,
there,
we do.
don't you?
Yes. And it's funny, that we do have actually stuff that's in the back, in our storage shed right now. It seems like the longer we're in our building, the more stuff we collect.
So you have 2 doors on the Sally Port, right?
Correct, I do.
So I was in one the other day looking at the Gator that was on loan to us. There's a bunch of equipment out there because they got to pull those cars in, and not that they do any repairs on them, but they clean them. That disinfectants out there. There's tire. I mean, it's
Air compressors,
a lot of stuff.
different things.
So I was only in one, but I know. While it seems big, you still got to drive the car in there.
And the one Sally Port is for prisoner, going from
and
actually the
secure.
vehicle to the,
Outside.
yeah, to the logs.
No storage in there. And then you have 2 small old sheds that are falling apart, right?
Correct, that's what I want to replace this with.
And what are you going to do with those?
Probably get them destroyed. We called Repo Cast, I don't think they want them. Because usually you would normally just sell it through auction.
Junk.
So if RepoCast doesn't want it, you're going to have to just take them to the dump? You're gonna
Correct, we have to probably get a local business to take it for us.
Okay, we can talk about that later.
Okay.
Any other discussion on the purchase of the shed? No? Any questions over here? Tom, can you take a roll call vote on
I will.
purchasing the shed, a newer shed?
Before I do, would something a little bigger, just the question asked, just throwing it out there, something a little bigger would be more benefit, do you think, or do you think your 1220 is good?
I think right now our 12 by 20 is an upgrade to what we currently have.
Okay,
And then if we get something bigger, it's a spot, it's a matter of where we're gonna put it at.
okay.
Because I know we talked about different spots and this didn't seem to work out for some reason.
Taking up space, and I think you would.
Yeah,
mentioned
we don't
about
want to take
taking
up
your
space in
parking
any more
spots.
parking
Plus, then you're
spots.
gonna have to pour a foundation if you move it anywhere else, right?
Right, pour a foundation, cut some trees down, clear space for it.
So you're satisfied with that size right now?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Okay.
put it
So,
on your Christmas list.
I have a chainsaw.
So we had a motion and a second.
Motion, yes. Just where am I at? Clee started, jump to the other side. Lisa Anderson, Barbara Vert. Okay, so we start with Ms. Vert,
Yes.
Ms. Pfaff-Dahl. Ms. Anderson,
Yes.
Ms. Miller,
Yes.
Mr. Clee, yes. 5-0, 2 absent.
Resolution passes. Announcements, we have our next regularly scheduled board meeting on Monday, October 18th, 2021 at 6 PM. And if there's no further business and without objection, we'll call the meeting adjourned.
Look at you. You're at the top of your game. At work or at play, you're unstoppable. Nothing can throw you off track. Oh, hey. She's cute. Nice going, man. Seems like we're great for you. You earned a night out. Good drinks, good friends. Yeah. We can go ahead and call this a good night. Wait, is that your car? Uh-oh. That's smart. Yeah, I saw that coming. Say goodbye to her. Ouch. That'll hurt your bank account. You're looking at around 10 grand in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. I don't feel like eating frozen dinners. All alone. Let's try this again. Smart move. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.